So Courtney, I think most people know you as the tennis pro at Banquet Country Club. Talk about how you started playing tennis.
Oh, I got started playing tennis when I was probably 5 years old. My mom is was an avid tennis player, so she took me to the courts with her while she played and then started tossing me tennis balls, and the rest is history.
So when did it occur to you that this game, this sport that you love so much, could be the basis of a career?
I don't know. I know probably when I was 12 years old, I started playing some national tournaments, and I knew that, you know, I loved tennis, and tennis was going to be my path, and I was going to play tennis in college. And after college, you know, I had a few injuries in college, so I knew I didn't want to play after competitively. So I came home after college, and I taught tennis during the summer while I was going to look for a real job. And I'm still doing my summer job. I ended up realizing that I loved tennis, and I was good at it, and I love people, and that I don't think I would like being in a cubicle in an office. And so that's kind of when I made the decision to stick with tennis.
So in a few moments, we're going to talk about some of the other things that you're engaged in outside of tennis, and I think it's actually pretty amazing. So you've accomplished so many things as a result of your association with tennis. Did you ever expect that the sport would be able to do as much for you as it has done?
I mean, tennis has been my life, so I think it's always given back to me, and it's always made me happy. So I guess in a way it's just the right fit. It continues to give back to me. So I guess that's why I love tennis and being involved in it and teaching others to play and supporting and growing the game.
So you oversee 7 major U.S. Tennis Association events at Bentwood, and together those bring about 2,500 people to San Angelo each year. And your adult tennis leagues have the highest level of participation by percentage of any in the state, with at least 1,000 players. So to what do you attribute those sorts of success?
Well, maybe I'm pushy and keep pushing people into tennis leagues. No, I think we just have a very supportive and tennis-loving community, and they like the game. And I think I just keep trying to make sure that we have events and tournaments and leagues and things like that for them to participate in, because they really want that. So they make my job easy, but I think I help to facilitate events and drives participation, and they like it, so they participate.
Do you do a lot of recruiting to encourage people to play tennis?
I do some recruiting. I send a lot of emails. I send a lot of text messages. I do recruiting, and then we have, like I said, a good community that recruits also and sends people my way. And you know, I take time and visit with people about our leagues, and I think tennis makes people happy, so they want to join up.
As we're filming this, you're on the heels of a huge recognition for Banquet Country Club. It was named the Facility of the Year by the U.S. Tennis Association, and that included some recognition at the U.S. Open. Talk about how that came about.
That was one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever had. Our USTA, United States Tennis Association, tennis service rep, Amanda Friday out of Midland, she nominated us for this Outstanding Facility Award. We just renovated our tennis shop and all our tennis courts last year. So she said, I think this would be something great for you guys. I'd like to nominate you. Help me with the details in the application. So it was long. We helped her with all our details and history and whatnot. And sure enough, we got an email, and then I got a phone call that we won the Facility of the Year. And the USTA gives about 10 or 12, you know, different type facility awards, but then we got the Outstanding Featured Facility. So we were the only facility featured at the USTA Semi-Annual Awards Banquet last week at the US Open.
And so talk about that experience of being on tennis's biggest stage here in the United States and getting that sort of recognition.
It was unbelievable. It was really neat to walk into the conference and people know, oh, you're Bentwood Country Club. Oh, we know you guys, y'all are the Outstanding Facility. Wow, y'all sure have done a lot, just because they had read the whole nomination and application. So it was really neat for people to know who we are and be such a small town. And now when you go to the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, which is where they play the US Open, there's a board on the wall to one of the buildings that list all the outstanding facilities, and Bentwood Country Club is up there. So of course I got my picture taken next to it, and but it was really, really an honor.
So aside from the improvements that you made to your tennis facilities out there, what were some of the other factors that played into y'all's winning that award?
So the award is based on, of course, your facility. So courts, your buildings, and we just resurfaced and post-tension all of our courts. And we have a new fitness center alongside with our tennis center. So our facility is very nice and brand new. And then the rest of the award is based on your contributions to the game of tennis. So how you grow tennis in your community, the USDA programming that you do. Like you said a minute ago, we run tournaments, we run leagues, and our community outreach.
Well, speaking of community outreach, you've raised more than $200,000 for local charities through various tennis events and your involvement with those charities. How have you done that? That's an awful lot of money.
Like I said, we have a supportive tennis community. There's sponsors have come in to help us with our Slam Fest event, and that's the event that we have done for various charities here in town. And we've brought in professional players like the Bryan brothers came one year, and they were just in, I think, the semifinals of the US Open. So we've brought in professionals, and then just Texas pros, collegiate players, and done different exhibitions and whatnot to make for an exciting event. And that's kind of how we have done all that fundraising, is through events and tournaments and just making tennis fun for the community.
And a lot of the benefactors of those tournament events have been charities related to causes involving children. Can I assume that there's some connection between those and maybe your coaching of young players, that sort of moves you to some extent?
Well, I think we love kids, and working with kids and seeing them grow and develop, and the positive things that come out of tennis and out of sports and how that helps kids and mentors kids. I think that's why we've chosen to do charities that benefit children. I think they're impacted the most.
So you've branched out into a lot of other businesses that don't necessarily have anything to do with tennis, but in addition to being Bentwood's tennis director, you are a co-owner of Bentwood. You co-own a real estate business, an oil field services business, and a retail business. So how did all those opportunities sort of come about?
Well, I have a very supportive husband who likes to try different things. So some of those businesses we have done with him, and then some of them with another one of my business partners, Kevin Collins, and we've just tried different things and different ways to, I guess, make a living.
What was the learning curve that you had from, let's say, being a tennis pro to learning about an oil field services business?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about that, so I just kind of work on the invoicing and the books and the office part of it. But I think if I had to go back to school, I would go back and be an accountant, because it all comes back to numbers in every one of our businesses. In the country club business, you're managing numbers. In the retail business, definitely in the retail business, which is the tennis shop that we have. And so in all of those businesses, it's just kind of all about looking at numbers and finances and that sort of stuff. So in a way, they're all related.
Is that sort of a different outlet for you than being on a tennis court?
Yeah, it's a different outlet. It's definitely not as much fun. I think I'd rather be on the tennis court.
Yeah. So how do you go about determining what it is that you want to involve yourself in, both professionally and personally?
I really like interacting with kids, and I like being involved in things that help kids. My son just is in first grade now, so I just joined the PTA. So I like being involved in things that organizations, tennis, to help kids, to be around kids. I enjoy being around kids. And now I'm looking at things that are good for my family. And I think that's how I pick now, is kids give me enjoyment, and my family is important. So that's kind of the route I'm taking.
Talk about how you define leadership.
Building a strong team and setting goals. I think I've always been goal-oriented. Being an athlete, you have to set goals. And then giving the team the autonomy to reach those goals. You know, at Banquet, I work with a great team of people, and everyone has different talents and great talents, and I think what makes it work and what makes it work on the court is giving people the opportunity to make it their own, though. So I think that that's very important, and I think being a good leader is not really what you do for yourself, but it's about what you're doing to help others and to help them succeed and become better.
Talk about a leader who has inspired you.
Kevin Collins is my boss now, I guess. He's the manager of the club, and he's my partner in several businesses. But he was my tennis coach when I was a little kid, and so I think he kind of led me in the path, and he helped mentor me and helped, you know, grow my tennis game and helped grow me professionally. So I would say Kevin is a leader that I have followed and learned a lot from. So he's a mentor as well.
Now, obviously, Kevin is a lot older than you, and so he's still a tennis pro. But does a tennis pro have a lifespan, and how long do you anticipate doing that?
I can't see myself not on the court. So for right now, I've got 2 little kids, so I plan on being on the court for a while. You know, I hope that my 6-year-old is playing right now, so I hope that he continues to play. And I've got a 4-year-old who only likes to volley, but she likes to be on the tennis court. So I hope to see myself on the court for another 20 years.
And what do you think and hope lies ahead of you on the horizon?
I mean, I know I have a very big interest in Banquet, so I probably see myself staying at Banquet. I love it. It's been my life since I was a little kid, so I'm very passionate about Banquet and being there and making it a great club for everybody.
It must be interesting having sort of grown up at that club when you were playing there as a kid, and now you're one of the people who co-owns it and helps run the place.
It's, you know, I love it, and I guess getting an ownership part in it, even though it's small, it makes picking up a piece of trash worth it. You know, I get a lot of fulfillment out of going to work every day, and I think that, you know, I loved it before I had any ownership stake, but now it's even more fun to go to work and more meaningful, and I'll pick up trash all day long. And I think a lot of my job is trying to make people happy and make members happy, and I get a lot of fulfillment when other people are having a good time.
Courtney, congratulations on being one of the 20 under 40.
Thank you very much. Quite an honor.